Hello and welcome to Real to Real. With great joy and despite limitations due to the COVID pandemic, the Diocese of Springfield witnessed the ordination and installation of our new bishop, Bishop William Byrne, during ceremonies which took place Monday at St. Michael's Cathedral in Springfield. Carolee McGrath has more.
On the eve of his ordination, Springfield's Bishop William Byrne knocked on the door of St. Michael's Cathedral and was greeted by Monsignor Christopher Connolly, the rector of the cathedral, as is custom for a new bishop. And the priests and deacons of the diocese were excited to welcome him.
I know it was really exciting when you heard the knock at the door and then to think about welcoming our newest bishop, full of life and full of enthusiasm. And I think that people shared that with him tonight. It was just kind of a natural response to applaud.
Priests and deacons gathered on Sunday for evening prayer, which is part of the Liturgy of the Hours, to pray for the new bishop and the people he will lead. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, the evening prayer service was invitation only and was attended mostly by priests of the diocese and Bishop Byrne's family, as churches are restricted to 40% capacity. Father Bill Hamilton of the Office of Worship was also on the Episcopal ordination and planning team.
Collaborating and working with him already has just been a great gift. So there was that excitement, him coming into his church. This will be his church tomorrow, and saying, we're glad that you're here and we're here to support you.
The next day, Bishop Byrne was both ordained and installed as the new bishop of Springfield at the 2 p.m. Mass. Boston Cardinal Sean O'Malley was a principal celebrant, with Bishop James Cecchio of New Jersey and Bishop Austin Vetter of Montana as concelebrants.
And remember always that your ministry is above all a call to follow Christ. You responded generously 26 years ago by embracing a vocation to the priesthood. Today is a second call. Like Peter, you are being called to a deeper conversion, to a vocation of love and service.
Cardinal Wilton Gregory of Washington, D.C., Cardinal Donald Wuerl, Archbishop Emeritus of Washington, New York Cardinal Timothy Dolan, St. Louis Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky, Worcester Bishop Robert McManus, and Springfield Bishop Emeritus Timothy McDonnell were also concelebrants seated at the altar. Pope Francis named Bishop Byrne as the 10th Bishop of Springfield in October. He's a native and former priest of the Archdiocese of Washington. During the rite of ordination, Bishop Byrne was presented to Cardinal O'Malley. The apostolic letter from Pope Francis was then read aloud by Archbishop Christophe Pierre, the apostolic nuncio to the United States. Bishop Byrne then walked the letter down the center aisle of the cathedral. After the homily, Bishop Byrne lay prostrate on the altar as the cantors sang the Litany of Saints. This was followed by the laying on of hands, the handing on of the Book of the Gospels, the giving of the ring, mitre, and crozier. Finally, Cardinal O'Malley escorted Bishop Byrne to the cathedra, or the chair of the cathedral. Just before the ordination, Bishop Byrne told local media his top priorities are transparency and promoting justice and healing in the aftermath of the sexual abuse scandal. Bishop Byrne met with survivors prior to his installation.
The Holy Spirit has spoken to the people of this diocese, and now it's for us to listen and to implement. We have to move beyond any words. We've got to start taking action. So I have been already working on that to make sure, because that's the linchpin, I think, of rebuilding the faith in people's lives, is to build trust. They won't be able to hear the message of the gospel if they can't trust the teller of the story. And the apostles, of which I will soon be one and a successor, have been telling that story since they met the resurrected Christ. And that's my top priority.
Only 297 people were allowed in St. Michael's Cathedral for the ordination, which typically would draw as many as 1,000 guests. Springfield Mayor Dominic Sarno, Congressman Richie Neal, Springfield Police Commissioner Cheryl Clapproot, and Springfield Fire Commissioner B.J. Calvey were among those in attendance. Bishop Byrne comes from a big Catholic family. He is the youngest of 8 children. Most of his siblings are here in Springfield for the ordination, as are many of his nieces and nephews. His mother, Mary, 97 years old, made the trip as well, and there's not one religious vocation in his family, but 2. His sister, Sister Deirdre Byrne of the Little Workers of the Sacred Heart, a retired colonel in the U.S. Army Medical Corps and reservist, sat in the front pew with his mother.
Oh, I feel wonderful about it. I learn from them every day.
Bishop Byrne's sister, Susan Rust, did the first reading. She says both her mom and her father, Dr. William Byrne, who passed away several years ago, were incredible witnesses of the faith.
My parents set a very good example. If we would go traveling, the very first thing we would do was find out where Mass was the next morning so we could go to Mass in the morning. So we went to church and we prayed. You probably don't remember this, but we prayed the rosary together. All of us, kneeling around my parents' bed and saying the rosary together. So that's also an important thing to do, just setting a good example and also making it kind of fun.
She also credited Bishop Byrne with fostering vocations at both the University of Maryland and as pastor of Our Lady of Mercy Parish in Potomac. 5 seminarians from Our Lady of Mercy were altar servers at the installation Mass.
I started watering up, it's so wonderful that he's made it this far. And I know he's smart and everybody thinks he's funny. He's very funny, but he's also
got a great personality.
He loves people. He just loves people. And but he's a really good administrator.
At the end of the Mass, Bishop Byrne gave a list of 5 things he's grateful for, playing off of his popular YouTube series, which was turned into a book, 5 Things with Father Bill. He listed God, his parents, brother priests, friends in the Archdiocese of Washington, and the priests and religious in Western Mass.
You and I are more than neighbors. We are brothers and sisters in the mission to save souls. We must rebuild trust, and we must preach the joy that love conquers hate, that peace defeats violence, that life destroys death itself, that Jesus Christ is risen. And in this alone do we find hope.
Reporting for Reel to Reel, I'm Carolee McGrath.
And we've posted the entire ceremony online on our Catholic Communications YouTube channel, accessible through iobserve.org.